Hello everyone, this is Plankara, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom for Path to Nowhere. So, last time I made good progress on her over-the-shoulder hair. I got some stuff I want to fix there, but first, I was noticing that with her left and right movement, I moved the very bottom of the coat just a little bit, just enough that the fact that the back of the coat isn't moving too, and my mouth is not moving, the fact that the back of the coat isn't moving too is enough to bother me a little bit. So, I just want to give it a little wiggle. Just a tiny wiggle. Not gonna spend too long in it there, but we're gonna give it a little wiggle. Let me see, do I need to move the shadows? It doesn't really move enough to make me need to move the shadows, so should be fine. Just actually I think this might be a case for the path to form. I think that'll actually be easier here. Okay. So like I said, I'm not going to do anything too fancy. I do not move anything down there very far at all. So just enough to follow the movement of the rest of the coat down there. I'll need to fix that corner, but I want to see if this is fine. Might even be too much. Yeah, I think it is actually. Okay, I need to keep it even smaller. So let's try again. In that case, I think I will just use a big brush. That should let me keep it fairly small and subtle here. Yeah, there we go. That's a big brush. And just give it a tiny wiggle. The tiniest of the wiggle. Yep, that is a tiny wiggle. I think that's fine. So let me find... Here we are. Okay. And while I'm here, I think I want to adjust the very bottom of the coat there. I feel like it's kind of fanning out too much on the left. I have to remember where that layer is now. There's lots of coat layers. I cut this so well and ended up not really doing a lot here, but you know, that's fine. That's fine. I think it was good to cut it like I was going to do a bunch of complicated things. It was good practice. Okay, that's a little bit better. Now I just need to kind of smooth out in the middle. Just right about here. No, I didn't get it quite right there, so I'm gonna try it again. Just... You know, airplane noises to help me think. But there we go. There was a particular angle I wanted to get on that. And... my first attempt did not get it, but I think this one did. Yeah, that's a bit better for the amount of wiggle that I'm doing here. Okay, there we go. I think that's good. Now I can carry back on to the head. Let me go ahead and reset my parameters. And there was a little something I wanted to fix over on the left turn that I did. So, the way I have it right now, there's like this small strand coming out here. And when I move it over here, in order to get it underneath the rest of the hair here, I move it a little bit to the right, and I don't think that makes sense. I think it would actually make more sense if I moved the other hair, the hair that is supposed to be on top of that tiny strand, if I moved it over to the left instead. So that's what I want to do. I want to find that tiny little strand, move it on over to the left a bit. We're just going to ignore everything right now and just focus on letting that little tiny strand move ever so slightly to the left. I think that'll put it somewhere over there. Actually, even that's a little bit too much. This, however, I think is perfect. Okay, and then the very top of it needs to be shoved under the layer that it's supposed to be all underneath, so that needs to get on out of there. It cannot be showing. Okay, that is fine. So next, this means that I have to grab pretty much the entire rest of the clump here, just all of it, and move it a bit to the left. I might need to adjust the top of this, but I'm going to focus on getting everything else into place first. Oh yeah, that is so much better. Do need to adjust the top of that, but everything else, I think this is great. I enjoy this greatly. Yeah, look how much better that is. It's moving, like, with her head. Perish the thought that stuff on the head actually moves with the head. Alright, let's go and adjust the top part now. Gotta say, it feels pretty good to be back with Inochi2D doing stuff and with my relaxing piano music and all the things, because after the Subnautica stream yesterday, I am still tense. I'll probably talk about that more in the Subnautica stream tomorrow, but I feel like I am tense for all the wrong reasons. Normally when it's just tension caused by the game itself, it kind of melts away pretty quickly. But the tension that came up with the gameplay yesterday was just, oh god, I don't want to lose all this thing that I invested a bunch of resources and time into. And if I mess up here, I'm gonna have to go gather all those things again, and I don't want to. So I feel like the source of the tension perhaps came from a bad place. It's a shame too, because I mean, I never really felt like Subnautica needed that sort of, I guess I'll call it meta, just outside the game related tension. Because man, just exploring the world there and all the dangers that come with it, the sea life, the running out of oxygen, just all of these things. It adds enough tension on its own without the idea that, oh no, I'm gonna have to go wander around these caves for like 10 minutes in order to find enough rubies to do what I want. It don't need that. It really doesn't. I'm kind of curious to see what they do with the sequel, if they keep a lot of the heavier crafting elements, or if they kind of streamline some of that a little bit. It's just reminding me of why I don't tend to go for heavy crafting-based games anymore. I just do not like running around and gathering resources. I absolutely love the meta progression in that game of just, oh man, I went to this area and I found this thing. And now I can do more things. Like, that is fantastic, but the times I've had to run around the area to pick up copper so I don't run out of batteries, that's less exciting to me. So, still got a little bit of anxious tension in me. Granted, I do think that some of it just comes from other areas of my life, as you might imagine. Raising kids is hard. I don't think it's all Subnautica's fault. But man, I don't think I have internally screamed that hard in a long time. I can kind of see why I didn't rig this like this initially. I think I moved it too far. Let me see if I can just grab all the layers again. This time including the strand, and push it just a little bit back to the right. Because it's like when I look at it here, it's quite close to her face. So if her head is moving to the right, would it actually go that far away? That's the question I'm asking myself right now. Based on how I did the side bang here, I guess it would go a fair distance, so I don't think this is completely unfair. Yeah, I guess this is fine. I guess this is fine. So I'll just adjust some of these other little things that I noticed around here, and then can head on over to doing the right turn. This is the last bit of hair I will have to rig. I'm not including physics. Physics is a different beast entirely, and frankly, is a lot less precise. It has its own kind of precision to it, but it is not the same. And honestly, I'm kind of all for it. Okay, I think that looks all right. Okay. Yeah, I think I like this. I do not think this strand is quite where it needs to be, though. So let's see if I can fix that, too. The strand has always been a little bit finicky for me, so let's see if I can get it to work with me today. probably have to do a bit of consulting the mesh so that this way I can hopefully figure out why it does not wish to work with me. Okay, no, I need to stare at this for a second. I need to actually take a moment to figure out what's going wrong before I move it too much. I'm trying to kind of floof it over here just a little bit to hopefully make it look slightly more three-dimensional. But I think a lot of what's wrong here is just shenanigans with the way some vertices are like compressing and stretching. So that is a job for asking the mesh what is going wrong here. Okay, well that's fairly straightforward. Do you see the tops of all of these triangles? Watch them move. They're pointing in a completely different direction. And I think that's what I'm seeing. I think I'm just seeing those triangles completely change the direction that they are pointing. And once I get those pointing in the same direction as before, I think it should be a little bit better, in theory. And then I also see that there's like a gap here that should not be there. So I'm going to need to fill that with hair. Actually, I see that gap exists on the original too. I should fix that. So you can see there's a tiny little hole just right there. That was poor cutting on my part. I definitely should not let that stay. So I will just give this a little tug and fill that in. Alright, still see some areas where I'm going to need to consult the mesh, but this is doing much better. Alright, so far so good. So I think I will indeed make my goal for today just to completely finish the hair. With any luck, I'll have time to do the hair shadows too. But we'll see. I just want to get this clump finished on all of the angles, including the corners. If I can't manage that much, then at least getting the initial 4 will be pretty good, and then I can finish the corners on Monday. Not tomorrow, because tomorrow is Subnautica, but on Monday. Yeah, it looks like the mesh just got a little bit messy from probably a bunch of repeated movements. This is why I describe the brush as the destroyer of worlds. It is great for moving stuff around, like, I would not trade it for anything. But at the same time, I do have to be prepared to clean stuff up a lot once I'm done. Okay, let's see how this looks. If this is good... yeah, that seems pretty good. Got a little bit I want to fix over here, but that strand is now good. I always make fun of myself by saying that my future self is always so much more picky than my current self. But I prove it correct every time. Every time! Because whenever I stop looking at something for a while and come back to it, I always notice little things that I just kind of want to fix. But I do think getting this outer curve right will go a long way to make it look more three-dimensional. And the only reason that I'm reworking this area is just because I was not satisfied with how three-dimensional it looked. I thought it looked more like a 2D plane moving to the side, rather than a 3D clump of hair, so I wanted to go back and give it a little bit more love. So approaching it from that angle is, well, pun unintended, but it's very important to me. Okay, I think that is good there. I think I might want to adjust here just a little bit more, though. Right here, I still feel like it's looking a little bit flat. Let's see if I can. I always say, let's see if I can when it comes to areas like this, because I'm never sure how well this stuff is gonna move. But I don't know, this seems like it's moving pretty well. I might be okay. I just want to adjust the angle of kind of this light area going down here. I think if I just adjust the curve of the whole thing a little bit, that'll make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. Okay, I just want to propagate some of the changes that I made in that curve a little bit further up too, because I kind of feel like it's... I don't know, the angle is changing a little bit too much at the top. I just wanted to feel a little bit more curvy. Right now it feels a little bit straight, and I don't think it looks very good like that. So I'm just going to try to lightly adjust some of those vertices and try to get a nice curve going all the way up. It's easier said than done because those vertices also kind of control this curve. And I have to make sure that curve is nice and curvy too. Such is the nature of rigging. And the nature of this mesh that I made. I don't think this one is terrible, but... I'm not actually sure how I would have done this one differently. I'm not sure if what I did was right, but at the same time, I kind of don't feel like it was wrong, if that makes any sense at all. I definitely had something going, and for the most part, I think it works. I think it might just be the hair is a little bit detailed. Maybe I should have considered putting some of these lines in separate layers and just handling the shading that way instead of keeping everything on one layer. I don't know. These are things that I will think about for next time I wish to make a model. But I mean, I think I did pretty good here. Yeah, that looks so much more three-dimensional. Alright, got some minor things I want to fix on the claw parts here. Assuming my scroll wheel allows for it. Scroll wheel is unfortunately still a little unhappy with me. Sometimes it goes up when I'm trying to scroll down and vice versa. Something about its little mechanisms are just lost and confused. It's okay. I've had this mouse for... Oh man. I think I got it when I was still like playing Overwatch. That was a long time ago. Okay, yep, that looks better. I can be a little bit happier with that. And there's a little bit right here that I think could be a little bit smoother. Okay, I think that's good. And then I just kind of want to fatten out this area in the back. Gonna make it just a tad rounder. I feel like I made it too flat here. So just gonna do little motions like this, and I think that should get it. Get it to do what I want it to do. I don't think it needs much. It was just, once again, looking a little bit flat and two-dimensional before, so I am hoping that poofing that out just a little bit will help me. It did, but there are other issues. So first I kind of want to smooth out that edge before I go into those aforementioned other issues. Okay. One of the big issues was actually this shadow part here. It is moving the wrong direction. So there's like a little line that kind of defines this strand here. And it was going the wrong way. It needs to move to the left, like everything else. But it was moving to the right, and that's no good. No good at all. I have to make it a little bit thicker, because the way it is now, not working out. It's just too thin. And I'm guessing that what I'm seeing here, yeah, in this kind of shadow area around this little loop of hair that I decided did not need its own layer for some reason. I think it also needed to come a little bit to the left. That is one thing I would definitely do differently next time. I would cut out this little loop of hair onto its own layer. I think it would be so much easier to move around if I did that. Alright, one last tweak, and I think that should do it. Let's try it. And then we'll see if the right side is kind to me. Honestly, I don't feel like this left turn has been that unkind to me. I feel like everything actually went pretty smoothly. There's just a lot of hair and a lot to it. So it kind of comes with the territory. It's fine. But yeah, I think that looks better. Hooray! Alright, let's go to the right side. Similarly, I kind of feel like this long strand here got pushed a little bit too far to the right, relative to everything else, so I'm just gonna go push it over a little bit. It also got kind of thin. Huh, I wonder how that happened. Yeah, the vertices got pushed together pretty hard. I don't know how that happened. Let's fix it. So I'm just gonna take a big old brush and start kind of pulling at it. Maybe a square brush would make more sense there, but this is fine. Alright, and then much like I did on the left turn, I'm going to grab the entire thing and move it in the direction that she is facing. So we're going to take the whole thing and move it to the right. Yeah, there we go. That actually helped quite a lot. I think I want to move it just a little bit more. It's alright, I can take it and move it around as many times as I need until I find just the right place for it. Alright, I think that's looking good. I think I can be happy with that. Gotta stretch. Arms are feeling a little bit locked up today. I've been trying to do more proper stretching lately, but I forgot the past couple of days. I blame not sleeping well. Not sleeping well kind of messes things up a lot in a lot of ways. Especially since I still have to work up the energy to play with my kids, regardless of how well I sleep. Because man, do they like to play. They have so much energy all the time. It's beautiful. Beautiful, terrifying, and tiring. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Kids should be energetic. If they're not, something has gone terribly wrong, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm gonna hide her side bang for a little bit here, so this way I can get under there. I mean, clearly it's a bit of a mess, but it's fine. I just want to be able to see a little bit better. I might have to turn it back on when I go to test movement, though. Yeah, do not think I'll be able to test things with that. Actually, is that going to be a problem when I go to add physics? I actually think it is. So I might actually want to clean that up a little bit. I'm not quite sure why I distorted it that heavily, but I'm not going to trust my past self here, and I'm going to pull it out just a little bit. I mean, I know that I can't completely rely on that. I will have to cover up most of this, just due to the nature of how the art was cut out. Like, this part cannot be shown on its own, even if it actually looked okay. It has to be behind something, because, I mean, it just looks like a big blob of hair that's cut out and floating in the middle of nowhere. But I'll straighten it out just a little bit here. Okay, that's a little bit better. I'll see if that looks okay when it comes time to turn the rest of her hair back on, but that should be a little bit better. Should give me a little bit more wiggle room, this time pun intended, when I go and do physics. Yeah, I can't test movement with the hair off, unfortunately. Little better. I see, so that's why I had that part hidden over there. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, past self. I'll go ahead and tuck it back behind again. I will want this to wiggle, though. That's gonna be a shenanigan. I'll figure out how I want to do that when it comes time to do physics. I think what I'm gonna have to do is just move these areas together, just to ensure that this will always be covered up. Yeah, I don't see any way around that. Okay. That must have been what my past self was planning. That's reasonable. So basically what I'm talking about is what physics are is they'll basically make the hair bounce around a bit. If you look at my hair on my model, when I move my head around, you can kind of see that my hair bounces around a bit. It's not just turning stiffly like it is on the current model that I'm working on, where I have not added physics yet. And that's basically what I'm planning to do, and I want these to be able to wiggle and flow very nicely. And I think I can set it up so that while these are wiggling, this is like secretly wiggling underneath it, so this way it always stays underneath the hair. I think I can get away with something like that. We'll see. Okay, and once again, I do think I am going to have to turn off the hair just a little bit so I can adjust the nature of that curve there. Because when I look at this, going up like this, and then I move it over, the angle changes very sharply, and I do not think that is entirely correct. But I also can't see what I'm doing with the bang there, so gotta hide it. Gotta have a little bit of funny bald spot here. See what happens. Okay. So I'll just poke at that a few times until I am satisfied. I am not quite satisfied, but that is a lot better. Yeah, I just want to get nice angle. That is all I'm focusing on there. Nice angle for that curve. Okay. I think that's all right, but I do want to adjust the very bottom of it. It's just hard because if I move it too much, I'm gonna start opening up that hole that I had to cover up before on some of my other turns. So I gotta be careful. I'm wondering if I can get away with adjusting this just a little bit. Just enough to kind of cover up that hole I was starting to open up. Okay, that seems all right. Maybe... maybe not. I changed my mind. I want this to curve a little bit this way, and that kind of means I need to move some of these other dots over here. Get them real close together. There's no personal space allowed around here. No personal space. Only hugs. Hopefully they don't mind too much. They don't seem to. I mean, this seems better than what I had before, so that's good. Alright, before I start working down here near the tip, I want to check these upper areas. Make sure that I am satisfied with how those curves are curving. I can see why I had a hard time though, because it's really hard to see with all the bang stuff there, but at the same time, I can't really hide it because I intentionally distort everything underneath because I just can't let it be any other way. Just due to some unfortunate decisions while cutting, I suppose. Or some things that just didn't quite work out the way I hoped. So, I don't know. Okay, that seems pretty good. So now I can start getting this light area down here. And I also want to take a look at this strand running kind of through the middle. Do I want to adjust that one at all? Technically, yes, but not very much. There's just a spot down here where I don't like the movement. Yeah, that's a lot better. Is that all I have to do? I think I need to do a little bit of mesh consulting just to line up a little bit of squirming that I see there. Yeah. Just a tiny bit. Okay. That should about do it. It's looking a little bit crunchy, though. Yeah, it's a little bit crunchy, but I think I have everything in the right place, so once I get it smoothed out, I think all will be well in this area. So let's spend a little bit of time smoothing out some of those bumps. Let's see here. Sometimes fixing some of these bumps can be a little bit tricky. But fortunately, I'm not, like, strongly changing the direction of the strand or anything. I'm just making it a little bit thicker. So, should be able to work them all out. I think that should be fine. Yeah, that looks fine. Yeah, that definitely looks fine. Okay. So now I'm going to start working my way down to the tip here. If I can get away with it, I want to try to make this curve a little bit straighter. I'm not sure if I can, but I'm going to try. I say these things a lot. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. A lot of the time, I can at least get halfway. Halfway to what I was picturing in my head. And that is better than nothing. I think making this a little bit straighter will make it look like the angle has changed a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Let me go smooth out this edge here, and then I think that is fine. I don't think I need to move it anymore. I think this achieves what I wanted it to achieve. And then we just got a little bump there that does not want to go away. Fiddly little bump. There we go. Okay. So now I want to adjust the highlight here a little bit. Mostly just a slight angle change. I don't think I need to do anything real fancy to it. That said, I do want to consult the mesh a little bit because there's a small highlight on there that I feel like is going to bad places. Yeah, mesh confirms it. It needs to be further down. So like some of these vertices just got pulled up at some point. These things happen. Alright, looking good. I think that's looking a little bit more three-dimensional. There might be other things that I can do here, but, man, I certainly don't know what they are. There's just... parts of it are still just looking a little bit flat to me, but I don't really know how I'd do any better than what I currently have. Mostly on this part is the part that I'm looking at. I see a couple of things I want to fix down here. Nothing too drastic. I think it down there mostly looks fine. I like the way I'm turning the hair here and all of that good stuff, so this is fine. Here feels a little bit less like a turn to me, but... I don't think it looks bad. Alright, let's go fix up some of the other areas now. This was the big area that I saw that I wanted to fix. The angle was just all wrong. Yeah, that's better. And similarly, I feel like there's something weird about the loop down there, so I'm gonna go straighten out everything above it, and then I'll go straighten out the loop itself. But I like working from top to bottom, so I want to smooth out the top here before I go in too far into the bottom. It's been a very comfortable way to work while I've worked on the hair this entire time, and I don't really see a reason to change it. It's been working quite well for me. Let me see. I'm actually gonna ask the mesh a couple of questions here of what is breaking this. Oh, that would explain it. Watch this triangle. Whoop. That's what's breaking it. I guess I just never thought that the angle on it would be so sharp. I don't blame myself. That is a weird triangle. I'm sure if my past self could see that decision again, she'd just be like, oh, whoops. But it's not the end of the world. Just gotta straighten it out a little bit. A little crunchy up there still. I kind of feel like the tip of this strand is moving just a little bit too much, though. So let's fix that up, too. That's an easy fix. All I gotta do is take my big brush and just lightly adjust the tip of that, and once that's at a good spot, I will go clean up the rest. Still think it's a little bit too much. Okay, this, on the other hand, I think is fine. So now I will just clean up a few places that I think need to be cleaned up here. I want to make this area where this line is a little bit thicker. But other than that, I think all is well. The bottom area, I actually thought was pretty okay. Yeah, that looks a little bit more convincing, I think. I think I still want to adjust just the very top of it, where it kind of connects to the rest of the hair. I think it needs to go a little bit further to the right. Still a little bit more. That area is just a little bit hard to move without making this highlight kinda weird. Because it's all kinda connected over there. So I might have to pull a shenanigan or two, but I think I can manage. I've gotten used to pulling a shenanigan or two while I've been working on this. I really have. Nope, still a little bit weird. Kinda want to get it cleaned. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to see whether or not it's right until it is relatively cleaned. Okay, that seems good. Okay, she can shake her head, and I think it looks fine. So now let's check the up and down. Let's see, how you doing, up? Let me stare at this for a second. Because there's something that's not quite working for me, and I'm having a little bit of trouble identifying it. So there's a bit right through here, a bit right on the strand here, and then I think just how the top part of the claw here connects. I think those are the only 3 points that need fixing. All this stuff is fine. Okay, easy enough to do. Let's take a look. How will I go about fixing that, though? Okay, I have some ideas. Sometimes I just need to think about it for a second. Especially when I'm a little bit sleep deprived. Look, someday I will sleep again. I have just been having weird dreams that kind of put me in a state where I'm half awake and half asleep. And if I can't resolve it, a lot of the time it results in me being fully awake and then being unable to get back to sleep. Have I ever mentioned that brains are the worst? And they lie to you about weird things. I mean, it's what dreams are, right? Just elaborate little things, an elaborate little show put on by your brain in an attempt to process something, I guess. Like, it's doing its best. I just wish it would let me sleep through it. It's very rude. It's funny, because I don't think I've had it this bad since I was playing Overwatch more often, since I talked about playing Overwatch earlier. I kept having these reoccurring dreams where bad things were happening to my team, and I just, for whatever reason, could not get to them. And so I couldn't do anything to help. And then they got mad. And I just had this kind of dream over and over again. It was the worst. So I'd be like half awake, half asleep, just trying to do things within the scope of the dream, but also sleepwalking, so it was kind of half affecting reality too. And it was a time. This time, it's a little more dreamlike, so it's a bit more nonsensical, and I'm not sure how to explain it, but the best way I can put it is that I'm supposed to be looking for something. And I don't know what it is. Like, I think it makes sense in the context of the dream, but by the time I get to the waking portion, I'm just like, what are you talking about? And so I end up kind of getting up and searching around the room a bit. And eventually I'm just like, man, I'm tired. I'm gonna go back to bed. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But when my brain gets into a state where I start having dreams like that, it's always an interesting time. Like, last night was particularly sad because I was apparently supposed to do something. I don't know what it was exactly, but it involved me having to be in a specific position, doing a specific thing, and looking a specific direction. And I did it wrong, and within the context of the dream, someone died or something. And it was very upsetting. I just remember apologizing and then trying to get back to sleep. So yeah, dreams are wild. And I get a bunch of kinds that put me in this half-awake, half-asleep state where I'm neither awake nor asleep, or perhaps I'm both awake and asleep at the same time. I don't know. One or the other, and even if I don't necessarily wake up, I don't necessarily feel rested. And it's kind of a terrible feeling. There's a shenanigan going on up top there, so let's see here. Just looks like this whole area got compressed slightly, so let's stretch it on out. See if that fixes the problem that I'm seeing. Maybe part of it. Yeah, part of it. I'll just consult the mesh for the rest and get that little pull I made a little bit more accurate, so that this way all will be well here. And I can stop thinking about my weird dreams. Alright, so now I can fix the bottom part here, or the top part of the claw, I guess I should say. Kind of straighten some things out there too. There was a few areas that looked a little bit crunchy to me. So I will straighten those out as well, and I think that'll be the top turn. I don't think there's a lot else I really need to fix up here. There might have been a little bit around there. I think I remember seeing a little bit of squirming through there, so I will double check that. Okay, my change there didn't quite work out the way I hoped, so I will need to adjust that. Let me go ahead and look at everything else too. Yeah, this corner I think needs some slight adjustment. And then there's something about the edge of this highlight here. Okay. All of those seem like fairly easy things, though. For the top of the claw, that's just a matter of trial and error until I find the proper place for all the vertices, you know, no big deal. As usual, just gotta try some things before I find the right way for this to be done. That's nothing new, and it's not a big deal either. For the others, probably going to be something similar, really. Just gotta try a few things until I find the right place for all of my little vertex friends. It's kind of the way it works, you know? Okay. There's the top part of the claw. Now let's try to get the underside. So there's like some shadows through there. I'm not exactly sure what I was seeing. I should probably look at that. There's like a little shadow right there. Yeah, and right here. They're not quite in the right place. I think this shadow is actually part of the loop that I did not separate from the top part of the claw. So yeah, I need to adjust that. That's like around here. Okay, I'm not sure what's causing that, so this sounds like a good time to consult the mesh and figure out what's making the vertices kind of freak. Okay, got some ideas. This one here, this one here. This one needs to come down a little bit, and this one needs to go in a little bit. Okay, and hopefully that'll fix up that area. Let's take a look. Right here, still not quite right, but everything else looks a little bit better. So let's get right there just right too. Get all the things just right. Make everything just perfect and wonderful. That's the great thing about art. It's yours. Everything about the little worlds you create are totally and wholly yours. So you can get them perfect and just the way you want. There's maybe some limitation in your current skill level, but it's the kind of thing where if you keep working at it, you can do whatever you want. And no one can stop you. Can't really say that about most of the world. But you can say that about art, so art is great. Got full control over everything going on in a drawing. And it's fantastic. Alright, let's go ahead and go fix all these little parts down at the tips here. I think everything else is doing alright. So I just kind of want to slide a few of these vertices upward a little bit, I think, and that should cover it all. Yep, that seems fine. Okay. There's one. Now let's get the downward turn. Okay, but first, foot falling asleep. Time to adjust. After a while, my hip just kind of wants to change direction. Oh, there we go. Okay, looks like this one's gonna have quite a lot to fix, so may not be able to completely finish this today. It depends on how well the corners cooperate with me. If I can just unset the corners and everything looks, you know, perfect, then, you know, no problem. We'll get it done. But if I have to do a lot of extensive fixes and stuff, may not be able to. But I'm pretty sure I can do it on Monday if I can't do it today. Okay. I'm going to start with the very top part here. I get the feeling I'm going to have to move this strand down a bit, so I'm not going to worry about it for now. If I end up just bringing some stuff here a little bit too low, that's fine. That strand will probably move a little bit anyway. But I want to start with all the little shadow areas up here. I think getting these right is gonna be the first key. Okay, let's see what that did for me. I see I got a couple of spots that are a little bit crunchy, so I will have to fix it, but... Okay, so far so good. I think I want to push the angle of this dark spot a little bit further down still. That is too much. That is way too much. Oh my. When visions don't work out. Okay. Let's push that back up and try again. I'll try to do it a little bit more gradually this time. Tricky. How exactly do I want this to go? I think I'm going to focus on this line, because I think I can get this line working well once I know how this one is supposed to go. So let's try some things with this particular strand. They are fortunately somewhat connected in terms of the mesh, so I think once I get one, the other won't be far behind. So yeah, I just pushed it way too far down, that's fine. That's easy enough to fix. Kind of reminds me of what I was doing in a lot of the early parts of this project of just... I wanted stuff to move, so... I ended up pushing things really far, and... I had to take a lot of things back. It's really tempting to do stuff like that. So tempting. Because it's just so much fun to watch things move. Like, there's nothing wrong with extreme movement, and when you get it right, it's actually really cool, but, you know, it's the getting it right part that's pretty hard. Because the more you increase the movement, and the more stuff moves, just the messier things get, and the more work you have to put into it. So I actually did end up kind of pulling a lot of my expressions back, especially on the top and the bottom. Her up and down turns used to be moving a lot more, but I was having a hard time getting them to actually look good. So I ended up making her move a little bit less, and it was for the best. It looks a lot better this way. It's like maybe as I get better at rigging, I can handle more extreme turns like that. But for now, I think this is plenty of movement. I still really like her downturns. I think she looks great. That expression is just perfect. I like it a lot. It makes me very happy. Okay, I think I'm happy with the top part of all this. So now let's see if I can get the bottom wrangled into place. Here I felt like the bottom part wasn't moving quite as much as the top part, so it looked like the hair was getting stuck on something, like it was getting caught. So that's a sign I just need to push it down a little bit more. Feeling is still kind of there, so I'm still gonna push it down just a little bit more. As always, oftentimes it takes me a couple of tries to get everything just right. It's not really a problem. Just gotta keep trying. Okay, I think if once I smooth that out, that should be fine. And then I can worry about some of the other lines up there. These guys up there. They weren't bothering me very much, so I doubt I have to mess around with them very much, but I still want to take a very deliberate look at them and make sure that I am indeed happy. After all, I am in the final stretch. And in the final stretch, that's when I gotta make sure that everything looks the way that I want it to. Because once I declare it done, then, you know, that's just how it's gonna look forever. Because it'll be done. That's what done means. So, definitely want to make sure to get it right. For whatever reason, this part is not cooperating with me. I feel like I keep moving things back and forth and it just doesn't get better, and I don't know why. Maybe I should consult the mesh. Mesh, what am I doing wrong? Okay. I got some ideas. I got some ideas here. As always, I ask the mesh and it provides. The mesh is so smart. I always appreciate it. Okay, and I feel like there's probably some mesh shenanigans here and the way all of this is being lined up, so let me take a look at that too. Yeah, just a few. This area doesn't need to move very much, so shenanigans like this just seem kind of unnecessary. Okay, yeah, I think that's good now, so let me double check those upper ones. Normally, I like to go from the top to the bottom, but, you know, this is fine. Whatever order works, and I just feel like this one is what defines a lot of how that clump is shaped. So I just decided to do it first. It made sense to me in my head there. As always, just, you know, do what works. Doesn't matter if it doesn't follow conventional logic. If it's working, it's working. Don't worry about it. Alright, there's a little bit that I'm not quite happy with how that's moving, but it's going to be really hard to identify on my own, so mesh. The mesh reveals all. It will give me all the answers. Yeah, some of these guys are just moving a little bit too far down. That's fine. It's easy enough to move them back up. Alright, let's see how that looks. And then I think it'll be time to check on this little strand. Because he was not quite moving the way I wanted him to either. Yeah, seems fine. Okay. Let's get that little strand. I don't think I need to move it very much at all. I just kind of want to give it a little bit more downward curve here. And then I'll probably have to pull in some vertices to cover up that hole, but let's get the strand into place first. Oh, that's too much, huh? Okay. So it doesn't need to move very much at all. I was kind of surprised to see that that little bit that I did was too much. So it really just needs just a tiny, tiny adjustment. Okay. I think that's a good spot for it. Actually, before I start reconnecting all this, I want to consult the mesh and get all this straightened out, because I can tell that there are some mesh problems. Yeah, right here in particular. And once I have that looking right, I think it'll be easier to handle all the covering up I have to do. Most of the problems I saw was down in the tip of the strand. But I would have checked the upper parts first. As I normally do. I just find that the upper parts can tell me a lot, and once they're looking better, then it tends to be a bit easier to move the ones further down. That's all. Not always the case, but I find it to be a useful default. Alright, now I'm already down to the tip of the strand where I felt like there were a lot of problems. So I'll just be continuing on my way. Okay, the tips are are always a little bit tricky. So I gotta really pay attention to the mesh here. It's okay, I believe in the mesh. It knows exactly what to do. It knows exactly what to do, it just doesn't necessarily know how to tell me. Smart, but not a good communicator. It's hard when the only language you speak is triangles. Okay, there we go. Now I just kind of want to smooth it out a bit, because I feel like it's a little bit crunchy in a couple of places. But I at least feel like all the vertices are in roughly the right place. It's just... are certain areas too thin or too thick and all that good stuff. The kind of thing that always takes me a couple of tries to figure out. Because this strand is not a constant width all the way through. It gets thinner and thicker in places, and I do not think this is curving quite right either. Let's see if I can figure out what's going on there. Mesh might be able to help me, but no. Looks like I got it. Okay. Before I start filling in that hole, let's see how this looks. It'll look great once I fill in the hole, so let's get going. Let's fill in that hole. Alright, seems pretty good. Still kind of want to straighten out the top, but I am satisfied with how this looks. I think I have it moving the right amount now, so it's just gotta clean up. Just gotta clean up. And then we'll see how the claw is, because I have not been looking at it very closely. But I don't think I moved it very far, so I have my fingers crossed that it's just gonna work, and then the corners will just kind of work, and all will be well. Sounds kind of like coping to me, but you know what? Until I have to face the reality, I will choose to believe this. I will choose to believe that there's nothing wrong. That I'll just look at it and be like, yes, it is perfect. Let us finish the hair today. Okay. I just felt like these vertices were not quite in the right place, and indeed, they were sliding upward a bit, so just pulling them down. And then I just kind of want to take, like, this whole thing and push it in. I'll smooth out that curve afterward. First, I want to make sure that this is kind of how I want it to look. Should look decent once I smooth it, so I think this is good. Double check one more spot just to see how it should be. Okay. I think I got it. So I want to follow this curve, which is going to have me pulling a lot of these out. I pushed them in, and I just pushed them in a little bit too far. That is okay. I can pull them out pretty easily. But I did need to push them in a little bit in order to get the shape that I have now. Okay, that's going to be some mesh consulting worthy shenanigans. Something is just not right here. Okay, let's try that now. This is going to be a lot of back and forth and trying small things, I think. Yeah, it's still not quite right. This part is sticking out a little bit too much. This part is sticking down a little bit too much. So it's just like getting stretched out. It looks a little bit strange, I think. Okay, so let's get the bottom part too. I do need it down there to an extent in order to cover up the hole, but I can afford to raise it up a little bit more than this, I think. And that is fine. Okay, I think I can actually push this down just very slightly more. And that'll help me out a lot. And then I can worry about the thickness of over there. Considering I can compare this one to a strand that I have, you know, at least mostly in the right place, a little bit right underneath it, I think it's a little bit easier to adjust. So I will start there. And then, of course, I need to make sure that the vertices themselves are moving down the right amount. But I don't know, it all seems pretty fine. What am I complaining about? Something in this strand here. I think that's what my brain was complaining about. This little guy up here. Yeah, just a couple of points here. See, this is why I said that even though I think this is in the right place, I still use the word mostly. It can be hard to know for sure, but it's close enough that I feel like I can use it as a decent anchor point, but I might need to adjust, like, specifics here and there. And that's fine. A lot of rigging involves going back and forth, so it's totally fine. Alright, this seems fine. So now I just gotta fix this outer end. Let me take another quick look at it to see exactly what is bothering me. So I kind of want it to follow the curve over there a little bit more. Just follow over here. This may not quite be it, but I should check before I do anything else. Okay, pull out the tip. There we go. And not quite satisfied with this either. So let's see if I can make that just a little bit better here. Just a teeny tiny bit off now. I didn't actually realize that my bottom turn was this far off. Hopefully this helps it. And I can just make everything look that much better. And unfortunately, now that I'm starting to look down toward the bottom, I see that there is some problems in the claw. So, alas. I get the feeling I will not be doing corners today. But you know that's alright. I'll do corners Monday. And figure out what to do from there. Maybe I can do some eye physics or something. Traditionally, I have done facial physics before doing hair physics. Just because I tend to do them, like, right after getting the head turns done, and I like to sleep on my head turns before I start putting physics on hair and stuff. I mean, there's a way I can turn off physics in order to properly test things and make sure it's all looking the way I want, but I like trying to verify that first. Because everything is just so much more fun with physics, and I don't like to turn them off. I don't like to turn them off. It just makes everything so much better. Man, I look forward to showing you guys what physics can do to a model. I have been looking forward to that day for so long, and it's almost here. Okay, I think that seems pretty good. So now, you just gotta fix the things that I see in the claw. So let me take a good look at the claw here. I definitely see a lot of things. Deeply unfortunate. Okay, well, let's get started. No use dwelling on it, let's just get her done. If I have time, I might take a look at the corners just to see if they're all gonna work for me, but I'm not so sure anymore. I'm just not so sure. But I'll do my best. Hello there, Ivan. Are you still preparing for your exams? Oof. That's a lot of exams. What are you studying? All right. Ah, I see. I suppose I should clarify, like, not necessarily the specific subject, but, like, what are you trying to be? Like, what are you hoping to do once you're done with school? Ah, I see. Yeah, decent choice. Programming's fun. I also do a bunch of programming, and it's a good time. Pretty long time. I am almost done with this one though, so I'm hoping within like the next maybe 2 weeks or so I will have the whole thing done. I hope. I've been pretty bad and like way far off with my estimates in the past. I think my first one, I thought that I might have finished it in December, and that didn't work out, so here we are. So definitely take my estimate with a grain of salt, but that's my hope. I'm kind of hoping to finish it before May. Ah. Yeah, I think it is pretty fun. Do you know how to draw? Oh, very nice. Okay, yeah, then you won't have then you shouldn't have any problems. Rigging and just regular drawing take a lot of the same skills. That's the reason I was asking, because if you didn't know how to draw, you might have a hard time, but if you do, then there's lots of overlap. The program I use doesn't have all the, like, weird stipulations that Live2D does, so don't have to worry about paying for it monthly or any of that kind of stuff. Huzzah for open source software. Yeah, understandable. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with not wanting to do art as a job. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with just making art because you want to make art, and then having some other way to sustain yourself on the side. I don't think everything has to be about making money. Sometimes you just want to make a thing. And the best part is, if you're not worried about it being your livelihood, you can make whatever you want, and you don't have to worry about what other people think. You can just do your thing and have a good time. Alright, I think I've solved a lot of the stretching issues that I was seeing here. So I suppose now's a good time to go and check. Still got some shenanigans around the highlight, but everything else, yeah, looks a little bit better. Need to adjust at the top a little bit more, I think. Just a little bit, though. It's not too bad. At least the claw is moving nicely for me. I appreciate it, claw. Everything else on this angle just did not want to work with me today. It'll be nice if this part does. What was your problem? Okay. The problem is that I made the mesh a bit weird. And now I have to deal with the consequences of that. Alright, so I'm probably gonna have to consult the mesh a fair amount around here since I did mesh it a bit strangely. And now I can't quite follow where all the vertices should be just by looking at it. Oh, thank you. I don't think this part's right yet, but it's okay, I'll fix it. But this is the last angle for this bit of hair, until I have to do corners. Corners can either be completely easy and just I don't have to do anything, or they can be the worst nightmare in the world, and there is rarely anything in between. So we'll see. We'll see what they're wanting to do with me today. Will they be kind? Or will they be terrible? No one knows, but I will find out soon. It does. I mean, this is a 2D model. How much effort does it take to make a 3D one? I am less familiar with 3D. I have watched time lapses of people making 3D models, and I don't know, I'd say the complexity is on par, just different. 2D might be a little bit easier. The main thing that makes me think 2D might be a little bit easier in some places is just texturing. Oh yes, this is a 2D model. The model I'm using is also 2D as well, you know, my character model that I have in the corner. That is also a 2D model. Oh yep, this is what it looked like. This is just what the art looked like by default, and then I have just been applying various deformations in order to move things around and make it look more three-dimensional. But yeah, this was just a game sprite I took out of a game and then cut it up, so this way I could rig it. But yeah, I don't really work with 3D. I do mostly 2D stuff. Oh yes, the name of the program is Inochi2D. So, indeed, it only works with 2D images. I guess you could say it looking 3D is just a trick of the light. And also the goal. Alright, have a nice day. Thanks for stopping by. And good luck on your exams. Alright, I think I about got this one. I don't think it's quite right, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get it right until I do the other side. So let's get the other side now. Because this guy's got some issues. He needs some help. I'm actually kind of surprised that I left it there. Past self must have been really sick of working on hair. Understandable. Wait, was I supposed to be moving this up or down? I didn't dyslexia my needed edits, did I? Okay, no, we're good. I do that all the time, especially near the end of a rigging session here, where I'm like, oh yes, I need to move something down, and for whatever reason, my brain interprets that, yes, I need to move something up, and I wish it would stop. I always gotta be careful when I find myself going on a slight bit of autopilot. Because that's when those mistakes happen the most. Okay, with as late as it's getting, I don't think I'm even gonna look at the corners today. I will look at the corners on Monday. Okay, that is a lot better. It's not quite there. There's some dancing going on over there. I'm just gonna ask the mesh what I should do to fix the dancing. Okay. So I think that'll be easier than trying to figure it out on my own. Stuff here should not be moving that much, so I can just kind of use the mesh to gauge that. Okay, but I think I'm almost there. Just a few more little vertices to slide into place here. Oh man, that was quite a journey. I wasn't expecting the bottom turn to be so much more difficult than all the other ones. That's alright. It needed a little bit more help. And I was able to give it to it, so hopefully all will be well soon. And maybe soon I can actually start putting some physics on all this. I really am hoping to finish it in the next 2 weeks. I think that would be great. But at the same time, I don't want to rush through the rest. I don't want to rush. I just might be a little bit less ambitious with certain things than I initially planned. Like, I wanted the little triangle guy, Shorl, to spin properly in my original conception of this, and I don't think I'm going to attempt that anymore. It's alright, he doesn't need to spin. You can just kind of wiggle back and forth a bit. I think that'll be totally fine. Okay, let's see how this looks. I have been looking at the mesh for a while, so I think I've probably got all the worst parts out, but let's see if there's anything else that just needs a little bit of extra attention. Yeah, still not quite satisfied with the tip of this strand. How's everything else? I think everything else looks great. Maybe I need a little bit of adjustment over here and over here. But everything else, yeah, everything else is fine. Alright, so there's those slight adjustments over there. Now I'm going to take a look at this tip one more time. Let's see what I got here. Man, the tips are always so picky. I always wish they'd be just a little bit less picky. That would be very nice. That's alright, I'll do my best for them. Let's see how it all shakes out. Okay, let's see how this looks. Let's see if there's anything else I need to fix, or if all is well now. Okay, there is one small thing I want to fix, and I think this part is not going down quite far enough. Like I said, I wasn't quite sure if I had the other half of the claw exactly right when I decided to move on, but I didn't think I was going to be able to get it right until I had the other half looking good. Okay, I think I just need to adjust the little corner right there, and that should do it. I think that will be a completed hair clump. And thus, completed hair in the 4 kind of cardinal directions. And next time I can just go right to corners. In theory, there might be things I want to correct because, you know, my future self is always very picky. But this looks fine to me. Hooray! Okay. I don't really want to look at the corners right now. It's late and I am hungry. So, I think I will just stop here for today. So, thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.